Hello, welcome to our video of summer fragrances that we like. I'm Malle
Anthony.
or Magneto 78. These are fragrances we put together that we enjoy in the summertime. No strict rules here, it's what we liked, and I'll go first. One that I really like is Chrome Pure by Azzaro. It's an unbelievable summer fragrance for me. It's got citrus in it. It's got bergamot, tonka bean, orange, cedar. I mean, when you smell this, it smells just like you're at the beach. I mean, suntan lotion. It's just gorgeous. What do you think of that?
This is actually my first time smelling this. We sprayed it a few seconds ago. This is really nice for summer. I don't do too many designers. This one smells pretty unusual. A lot of the designers tend to be derivative, a lot of the same old, and this one I would say is definitely unique for the summertime. Definitely has that summertime suntan lotion vibe, but it's also got some tropical fruits in there at the top, and very nice.
I can tell you that I've had this for a couple years, and this has good longevity. I was actually surprised. I could just give 2 sprays of this when I was working, and I'll tell you, by the end of the day, it's still strong on you. It's actually pretty good. It's a nice fragrance for the price. Relatively inexpensive. I think it's maybe $89 or even cheaper. It's a great summer fragrance.
All right. Next is going to be my first one. So for this list, like he said, it's not following any like numerical order or anything like that. Some of my selections, people might even say, are not typical summer fragrances, but this is stuff that I wear in the summer. I definitely like things that are a little bit unusual, and I'm usually looking for something that is beast mode. My skin just eats up fragrance, so I need something that's going to last at least 8 hours. My first selection, therefore, is MFK's Aqua Vitae Forte. And anybody that's familiar with MFK, you know they do fresh scents very well. They're known for, I think, their more fresh scents. They do have some darker ones as well. But in the Forte series, everybody always goes for Aqua Universalis Forte, which has kind of a clean laundry smell mixed with citruses. This one I think is much more interesting. It has the citruses up top, but it also has ylang ylang in there, and it's a little bit unusual. The lasting power on this is well over 12 hours. It kind of gives me a, if you can believe it or not, a CK1 vibe from the 90s. It reminds me of that fragrance. Looking briefly at Fragrantica, this was released in 2013, and the notes according to Fragrantica are Sicilian mandarin, Calabrian bergamot, lemon, Ceylon cinnamon, Guatemalan cardamom, Szechuan pink pepper, Tunisian orange blossom, and the Madagascar ylang ylang. Also Haitian vetiver. I don't really get, and sandalwood. I don't get the sandalwood in this, or the vetiver. If they're in there, they're deep in the base, and even in the dry down, I don't get much of it. I do get the cinnamon, which is very unusual for a light summer fragrance. What else? The pink pepper, definitely get that. And the Sicilian mandarin and Calabrian bergamot and lemon are really strong throughout the fragrance, from the opening all the way through. Have you smelled this one?
I don't think I have.
Test that out.
Actually, some of the ingredients you were mentioning is a large part of another fragrance I'm going to bring up in a minute.
This stuff projects.
Wow.
It's definitely, for a citrus-based fragrance, it's absolute beast mode. People will smell you from 4 or 5 feet away, which I think is astronomical. And if you're walking in a crowd, this leaves a scent trail for sure.
Definitely citrus. I mean, that's getting that right away.
That little spray that you put on that piece of paper, I can smell over here. Very strong.
Wow.
And it stays strong throughout the wearing, which is what I know. Some people aren't looking for that. That's what I'm looking for in a fragrance.
Right.
If I'm spending the money, I don't want it to be gone in an hour.
Right.
And I don't feel like I ever become anosmic to it, like a Ventus or some of the others that are citrus based, where you can't smell yourself, but other people can smell you. I can smell myself 12 hours later, and my laundry smells like this for days.
That's excellent. That's a strong fragrance. That's nice. It's very nice.
What do you got?
All right. Next, kind of, I told you so, for men and women, this is Soleil Blanc Tom Ford. This has coconut, has white florals, some amber, bergamot, cardamom, tonka bean in this. There's kind of going to be a similar theme to a lot of mine here as far as the notes go. I first smelled this, I think probably a couple years ago when we were down in Connecticut. And I tell you what, this, like the Chrome Pure, is just, it reminds me of the beach. I mean, I don't know how much more summer you can get to that. It definitely is on the same line as Chrome Pure, but has a few different notes and a little more spiciness to it. It's just a classic fragrance, and it's unisexed, but I'll tell you what, it is just excellent for summer.
This is one that I don't own from Tom Ford. Actually, the only private labels that I own are going to be the darker, heavier scents. I don't have any of their summers. This is really, really good. It's perfectly unisex. I'm not exactly sure what is in this, but I get like a backdrop of pepper.
Mm-hmm.
It's floral, and a lot of guys don't want to wear floral. This is perfectly unisex. Like, you could definitely.
It's like enough, you know. It's just enough to give you that hint of floral and then sweetness. But
this is killer.
The amber kind of brings it back the masculine way to me. It's doesn't make it heavy, but it definitely gives it a more masculine turn.
I don't know if it's the white bottle that is making me think this way, but I think this would be a great wedding scent because it's light, it's airy, it's floral, it's got that peppery background to it, but it's also not overpowering, so you're not going to be choking people out in close proximity. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's a very good scent for summer.
Next, I have. Remember, I said I like kind of unusual stuff. I got a lot of bangers for summer, and most of them I would say are Creed. Not most of this list, but most of the ones at my house that I'm pulling for all the time are Creed. They just do citruses and fresh fragrances very well. But maybe my favorite, possibly my favorite Creed, is Millesime 1849 in the green bottle. This was a limited edition. It got very mixed reviews, and like most Creeds, it's very fresh at the top, but it also has vanilla and musk underneath that stays from the opening all the way through to the dry down, which makes it a bit unusual. This was launched in 2013 in top notes: Calabrian bergamot again, jasmine, which I definitely get, patchouli, I can definitely smell the patchouli, cedar, ylang ylang again, second time in a row we get the ylang ylang, sandalwood again. It claims that there's oud in here, although I really don't get the oud at all, and I definitely get vanilla and white musk. If you're a fan of Creed and their signature ambergris, this has a ton of ambergris in it. It smells very opulent. It smells very refined, sophisticated. This would be another fantastic wedding scent. A lot of people say this is a fall scent. They find it too heavy for the summer. Here in New England, our summer can range from almost 100 degrees, which is what it is right now, down into the mid 60s. It's all over the place. But whether it's a cool day at the beginning of summer or the very tail end of summer, or blazing heat like it was yesterday, I wore this all day yesterday, lasted all day long. When I got up this morning, I still had my undershirt on and it still smelled of this. If you want to give that a try. No, I don't think you've smelled this one yet.
No.
I picked this up. This is a very limited edition. There were only a certain amount of bottles made, but it's still available. There's a few bottles left you can get from the Creed Boutique. They're about $400 for a 2.5 ounce, which is relatively small. However, it is a limited edition. The ingredients are top notch. You won't smell like anybody else. This is a great wedding scent. It's a great date scent. You're not going to smell like anybody's ex-boyfriend rocking this beast, for sure. So all of you
That's nice.
Armani fans out there, the Aqua di Gio tribe, you're not going to smell like 3 of her exes with this.
This is excellent. It's almost, I don't want to say use the word talc, but it's got like a powdery or like a scent to it that's comforting.
That
You know,
musk in the base is very barbershoppy. It's not a barbershop fragrance.
it's like a
in terms
fragrance
of-
you've known, your life.
Yeah.
You've smelt it before, but you can't remember where.
Because it's classic. I've had some people tell me that it smells old lady, or some people that have reviewed the fragrance say it smells like an old lady. If it smelled like an old lady, it smells like an old lady in the sense of something like Cuir de Rousse or maybe Chanel No. 5, where it's slightly aldehydic. And I think some people, when they get those aldehydes, which is not mentioned here, but I forgot to mention that I do smell prominent aldehydic note in here. That puts some people off. I think it's just awesome.
It smells great. Seems like it would age very well too.
Yeah, definitely. I think any age could, or any gender could wear it, but 30 and above crowd.
That's nice.
Very
nice. Excellent. One of my next ones, a lot of people think maybe a summer fragrance, maybe not. I was given a sample by my friend here. Immediately had to buy the bottle. Just absolutely fell in love with it. It's from a house that are just excellent, excellent perfumers. This is going to be Xerjoff 1861 Naxos. Am I saying that correct?
Naxos.
Naxos. Wow. This thing, the presentation of the box, let's start there. It comes in an almost leather-like bound box, wrapped and pillowed casing. You open it up, there's like lace in there, there's all sorts
It's
of
like
things.
a satin interior.
It's unbelievable. And the bottle, you can see itself, a very heavy crystal bottle, beautiful top. The presentation is just perfect on this. This scent is just absolutely amazing for me. I mean, it hits you right away. There's honey, there's a little tobacco, spice and citrus, tonka bean again, bergamot again, cardamom, some lavender, vanilla. These scents combined is just, it's beautiful. I mean, it's not sweet where, you're like sugar shock, but it is just, it's perfect. It really blends well. All those spices together, I'm telling you, it's just, it's excellent. I had to grab it. I've had it now for almost a year and absolutely love it. It has good projection. On me, I don't get a lot of longevity out of it, but I get, 2-3 hours, which is pretty good. But, I'd like a little, for the price, it should be a little longer than that. But it is an excellent fragrance. I really have nothing negative to say about it.
So this one, I tested this out when it was first launched, and the whole line. It was Naxos Renaissance, which originally was just called 1861, but now it's 1861 Renaissance. And Zafiro, I believe, which is an incense-based fragrance. Everybody says for their summer list, Renaissance, right? Renaissance smells like mint mojitos. It would be on my list, as a matter of fact, but I do not own a bottle. The reason I don't own a bottle is because I kind of lament the bottle change. There's nothing wrong with this bottle. It's nice and everything, but I do prefer the original squarish bottle. And as I understand it, Xerjoff was having problems shipping those because they were breaking in shipment, so they ended up changing it. And also, if you follow Xerjoff, you've seen that throughout their lines, they've had some bottle changes. They've gone all to this type of bottle for most of their range. But anyways, this one is more of on my fall list because it's a tobacco fragrance.
It's not heavy on the tobacco though. There's notes in there, but it's not strong like a Tom Ford tobacco would be.
And we have a friend that just goes balls deep into tobacco vanille, for example, in July and August, and it's absolutely sickening. I don't know how he can stand it, but I can't stand even being around it. He's worn this around me in the summertime, and it's actually quite nice. It smells very different in the heat than it does in the cold, and it, performance wise, on him, he's not getting the best performance out of it. My skin eats fragrance, so I always wear an undershirt, which I spray a fragrance on. to make it a little more lasting, and I get more than 24 hours out of this if I do that. Spraying
It's a good tip.
Spraying it exclusively on skin, I've never tried it, but this is just a beautiful fragrance, compliment getter, very, very reasonable for the price that you pay in comparison to fragrances of similar quality and presentation. This is a 100 ml bottle. I'm not sure what you paid for yours. I paid full retail for mine through Xerjoff Universe, and I don't regret that whatsoever. I know you got yours a little bit less than that. There are fragrances on the market that are $500 that are piss compared to this. So I don't think the price point is unfair at all for this. And this is definitely, if I had like a top 10 for life, this might be on it. And I'm a huge fan of this genre of fragrance, ambers and tobaccos and those types of fragrances.
This is excellent. It's done very well.
Next on my list, I have another Creed. You'll have to forgive me for a second because I didn't bring my notes on this and I totally forget what is in it. But everybody knows this one. It's the Beast in the White Bottle. Silver Mountain Water. In my humble opinion, I know Aventus takes all the limelight. This is hands down better than Aventus. It's older than Aventus. The ingredients are more unique than Aventus. It's more wearable. All right. So let me just check the notes on this one. See how old this is. This bottle, by the way, I got this bottle from Neiman Marcus in about 2005, and I still have about a half a bottle left. It's got more bergamot, mandarin, black tea, currant, galbanum, musk, sandalwood, petitgreen. I don't really smell the petitgreen in this. Most fragrances that have petitgreen, that's the majority of what I get on petitgreen heavy fragrances. This was launched in 1995, which makes it semi-old for, you know, and it's funny because it's just as modern as anything that's out today. You get a lot of tea in this fragrance, you get a lot of bergamot in this fragrance, and the black currant throughout. I get more than 12 hours performance out of this. Just a stunning fragrance, beautiful from start to finish. Heavy dose of ambergris, lots of musk in this. I don't know if you've tried this one before. You may have. I know you don't own it.
No, I don't even think I own a sample of that. I've known when we've gone to looking for fragrances, that's been one of them that I'm on the fence about. I make a list, as I'm sure a lot of you do, a hit list of what I like and what I think I like, and until I can get that sample and let it dry down and see how it lasts before I make a significant purchase on something like a House of Creed or Xerjoff or you know, it's just, we want to be sure. Roja is another one. They're not cheap.
Yeah,
you want to be sure that's what you're going to like. I've had several fragrances, I'm sure you have. Man, they smell great. You know, you get them home, they dry down, and you absolutely hate them. But this I've liked for a while. I think it's definitely on the hit list.
It performs well on skin for me. You know, if you take the first Creed that I had here, and you take this, and I've never heard anybody actually compare these two, but they're actually very similar. Because the musky ambergris base in these is very, very, very similar. And actually, I mean, I don't think owning these two is redundant. I think this one's a little bit more unique. This one's been copied very frequently, as people out there probably know. This also can be had much cheaper than this one. So if you don't want to spend the coin on this one, $400, you can get this probably for maybe $150. It retails for over $400. But you can get it much cheaper than that if you know where to look.
Excellent.